Okay, I'm here in Module 1, Topic 3, Review Form. The first one says that Sam has $30.04 in her purse. She buys 3 books for $6.56 each. How much does she have left? So because she buys 3 books and they each cost this amount, first figure out how much the books are. So $6.56 times 3 because she bought 3 books. Okay, so multiply decimals here. 3 times 6, that's 18. 3 times 5 is 15. 15 plus 1 is 16. 3 times 6 is 18. 18 plus 1 is 19. Okay, you need to place your decimal. You have 1, 2 digits after the decimal. And so in your answer, there should be 1, 2 digits after the decimal. So she bought 3 books for $6.56 each. And so that cost $19.68. So if she has $30.04 in her purse, you need to do $30.04 minus $19.68. Okay, so you're subtracting decimals. So in your answer, your decimal will be brought directly down, and you're going to subtract as normal to figure out how much she has left. So you go ahead and finish that one. Okay, number 2, Grant paid $7.44 for honey turkey at the deli counter. The turkey costs $6.20 per pound. How many pounds of turkey did Grant buy? So you need to take your total cost here, $7.44, and divide it by the cost per pound, $6.20, and that will give you how many pounds Grant bought. Okay, so you're dividing decimals here. You have a decimal outside the division bracket, and so you got to move it right 1, 2 spaces, not just on the number outside the division bracket, but also the number inside the division bracket. You must move both decimals the same amount in the same direction. And so now the number inside the division bracket is 744, and the number outside is 620. Okay, so the decimal on 744 is right there after the 4, and then of course there's a placeholder 0. And so this decimal comes directly up into your quotient, into your answer. 620 goes into 744 one time, and so I put the 1 directly above the second 4 on 744. 1 times 620 is 620. I would subtract and get 124. And of course, bring down the 0, and 620 goes into 1240 exactly 2 times. Okay, so your remainder would be 0, and this would be the number of pounds that Grant bought. If you buy 1.2 pounds at $6.20, then you're going to pay $7.44. So take your total cost and divide by the cost per pound, and that would give you how many pounds that you bought. All right, number 3, find the volume. Remember that volume is the space inside this shape. So you multiply length, L, times W, times H. Length times width times height. So let's call this the length, this is the width, and this is the height. We're multiplying mixed numbers here, so let's use the C method to make these improper. 3 and 4/7 when using the C method would become 25 over 7. I'm going to multiply that by the width. Let's also use the C method here to make this 7/2. So 7 over 2 multiplied by 4/5, the height. All right, so let's cross simplify here. I see that I have a 7 on top here and a 7 on bottom, and I know that 7 over 7 is 1. So I cross the 7s out and make them 1s, right? Or I could say 7 divided by 7 is 1, and 7 divided by 7 is 1. Next, I have a 25 up top here and a 5 on bottom. I know 25 and 5 are both divisible by 5. So 25 divided by 5 is 5, and 5 divided by 5 is 1. I can also cross simplify 4 over 2 because 4 and 2 are divisible by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And so now, as you can see, my denominator, all my denominators are 1. Okay, and on the top I have 5 times 1 times 2, that is 10. So I have 10 over 1, which is just 10. Now, because this is volume, our answer would be in cubic units. You are not given a unit. And so in the answer box, just put the number 10. 10 would be the volume. Number 5 right here, Josh is wrapping a gift If somebody's wrapping a gift, that means you want the area of the surface of the figure, or the surface area. How much wrapping paper is needed to wrap the gift? Your answer will be in square feet because you're finding the surface area. Okay, so first we could say the front and the back. I'll put F/B, front and back. So let's call this right here the front of the gift. Of course, that's a rectangle. It's a 5x2 rectangle, 5 feet long, 2 feet tall. So 5 times 2, that would be 10. So the front of the gift is 10, and also the back of the gift is 10, right? This right here, that portion right there is also 10. Okay, so I basically have two 10s. I could say 10 times 2, that gives me 20. Okay, so now let's do the left and the right, so the sides. So from here to here to here to here. That's also a rectangle. It's a 2x3 rectangle. So let me say L/R, the left and the right of the box. I'm finding that area, which is, like I said, 2 times 3, which is 6. So that would be the right side of the box. And this left side of the box is also the same thing. It's a 2x3. So basically I have 2 6s, or 6 times 2, which is 12. Okay, so I have the front and the back, the left and the right. Now I need the top and the bottom. So here's the top. Is that space right there. So if this is 5, this is 5. So I have a 5x3, right? So I'll put T/B, top and bottom. The top is a 5x3, so 5 times 3 is 15. Okay, so if it's 15 on the top, then it's also 15 on the bottom of this figure. And so I have two 15s, or 15 times 2, which is 30. Okay, my last step is to add all of these up. I have 20 plus 12, that's 32. 32 and 30 is 62. Okay, so to wrap a gift or to find the surface area, I find the area of the surface. And if it's a rectangular prism like this, you need 6 areas, right? Because you have 6 faces: the front and the back, the left and the right, and the top and the bottom. If you find those areas and add them all together, that gives you the area of the surface, or the surface area. So this would be 62 square feet. All right, but like it says, just put the number in, 62. Number 5 asks about the faces. Okay, so you have 1, like we just did, you have 1 and 2. We could say the front and the back. Okay, then you have the right and the left, and then you have the top and the bottom. Okay, so there's 6 faces in a rectangular prism, which is what this would be. Edges, remember, are where the faces connect. So we have 1 edge, 2 edge, 3 edge, 4 edges. From here to here, that's 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we have 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, so there's 12 edges. This is where the faces connect. The vertices are the corners. So that's a vertex, that's a vertex, that's a vertex, and that's a vertex. So 4 vertices up top, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 on bottom. So in total, there are 8. All right, so 8 vertices in a rectangular prism. Okay, once you submit this, go ahead and view your score. If you miss any, click Edit Your Response to fix the ones that you missed, so that eventually you get every problem correct. Okay, this is good preparation for the test, which is tomorrow on volume and surface area. Hopefully you showed your work here when completing this form. Because it's a Google form, your work is not required, but on the test tomorrow, which is a CAMI assignment, you will be required to show your work. So it's very important that you show me your work for operating with decimals, and when finding volume and surface area, plugging in fractions and plugging in decimals to find volume and surface area. If it's surface area, be sure to label your answer in square units. If it's volume, be sure to label your answer in cubic units.